Welcome back to the Wild Ones podcast. It is Mother Cussing episode 100.
Whee.
I cannot believe we've actually got to episode 100. I just kind of figured it would never happen.
I figured we'd be cancelled before then.
Possibly, yes.
We haven't got in trouble that bad. I'm surprised.
We actually haven't. I think it's probably, well, it's almost certainly because the podcast is produced by someone that actually has some form of skill and removes all of the terrible stuff that we end up doing.
Well, the audience don't realise that we record for 5 hours to get 1 hour of footage.
Yeah.
Emily has to remove that much of us.
What I'm saying is you two better not ever cross me because I have some receipts on you two.
Oh, shit. We love you, Emily. We will be friends forever and ever.
Well, anyway, this is the show where apparently we chat about bike stuff. I am Jimmy and I am here with Francis.
Hey.
And producer Emily.
Hello.
And thanks to Garmin for supporting this podcast so that we can bring shows like this to you for free.
How you guys been? I've heard you've been in a different country.
We have, that's correct. We did go to a different country, that country being Italia.
Yes, it was very nice. I've been summarising it like this. We did lots of walking, lots of eating, and lots of relaxing. And it was all good.
Oh, it sounds dreamy.
Do you remember there was that like TikTok thing? It might have been Instagram as well, where people were saying to the halves that were male, how often do you think about Rome? And everyone was just like, I think about Rome all of the time. I think we maybe even phoned you, Francis, and asked us how often you think about Rome, and you were like, started listing all of these weird Roman things that you were into. And I just never really understood it. So it was my first real experience of like proper Roman culture and architecture and buildings and history and things, and yeah, they're pretty cool.
Is it specifically the Roman Empire is the thing rather than Rome as a modern city?
Yeah.
People are obsessed with the Roman Empire.
But do you not think that actually loads of the Roman stuff was just pinched from the Greeks?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to get into a debate this early on stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
You've been there, Jimmy. You tell me.
Well, yes, I do. I think they pinched loads of stuff from the Greeks. Or at least some of the stuff that is like very iconically associated to the Romans. One example of this is chariot racing was actually a Greek thing. But you think of Romans.
Yeah, never done that. Maybe we should try it one day for a video or something. How many bikes would it take to
Pull a chariot.
pull a chariot? Yeah.
Didn't we have a weird... There was definitely a weird video we wanted to make.
I had a video idea for ages, which is how many bikes does it take to pull a car?
Oh,
and
that
now
was
someone's
it.
going to steal it, but I think it's technically not that educational or interesting. It would be fun to film. That's 90% of my ideas.
You'd have to set it up like Santa's sleigh, wouldn't you? You'd have to have so many bikes just in a line with each other. I don't know how it would work in practicality.
Yeah. It'd be hard to get going, and the attachment string would have to be very stretchy. But I think it's doable.
I actually think the problem is going to be not getting going, it's going to be stopping.
Oh, you just get run over by a car.
Yeah.
Well, I assume someone would be in there. We haven't got enough people. GCM would have someone in the car. Safety.
Yeah, definitely.
We'd just get run over and die. Okay.
On the subject of getting run over in a car, I think we're going to have a little chat about that later on, aren't we? Not at this point, though.
Oh, I've forgotten about that. Yeah, that was a fluff up.
Well, first of all, tell us how you've been, Francis.
Yeah, good. Me and Benny have been holding down the fort while you guys were away. He completed his first video from start to finish.
Nice.
Doing pre-production, filming, telling us what to do, scripting, absolutely everything. I think he did an excellent job, and it's now live on the channel.
Which video is that?
40 Things I Hate About Bikes.
Very nice. So if you would like to support Benny, then you go and watch that video now and tell him how good he is.
He did a really, really good job. Really good job. Sometimes, I think we've said it before, videos look easy to make. Sometimes, more often than not, they're not easy to make. And I think he did a fantastic job, and he made it look seamless. My brain's not working. It's been 2 weeks off in the podcast, and I can't remember how to be on a podcast. So
I think what you mean
apologies
is
for the rest of this hour.
it looks like a CADE video, and that's exactly what we want. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's a
That's
cracking
because I
bit of
gave
work.
him my sweet color grading LUTs.
I noticed he really dug into the archives when it came to B-roll footage. There was footage of Jimmy off about 6 years ago.
Stuff I didn't even know we had.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because this is it. When you're just talking to camera, you find B-roll shots just to kind of, break it up and stuff. And I kind of said to it, I was like, did this take a long time to find? Yes, a very long time. I think we need a better archiving system for our B-roll footage so we can find it quicker. But that's maybe enough camera chat.
I have an incredible archive system, and it's a big stack of hard drives that only I know where anything is.
Perfect.
So now there's more people involved. I realise that is a problem. Upload it all to Google Drive. It will only take 20 days. While we were working together, I also went to 2 weddings, which meant I was trying to put videos together that were kind of quicker edits. Decided on Big Bike Brands Explained for Newbies, which turned out to be the longest edit I've ever done in my life. But it did quite well.
Did do well.
I spent ages on a thumbnail as well. And for people who don't know, YouTube has a little feature which lets you A/B test, so you can test 2 different or 3 different thumbnails against each other. They have it for titles as well now. Spent ages on one thumbnail, and then last minute I was like, you know what, I'll just chuck this one together as well. It's a little bit different. Picture of a Specialized bike and just my massive face on the side. And then obviously that one got chosen by you, the audience. So all of that time before was wasted.
Well, it's not wasted. It's a good lesson of what works and what doesn't work. So if anything,
It is.
thanks to our audience for giving us information on what they want to see, I guess, essentially.
You just made our thumbnails easier going forward.
I've noticed you've been using a handheld mic quite a lot.
Oh, it's here. Yeah. I could use it. I could double mic. Do I get twice as loud when I do this? There's actually nothing in it right now, but it fits the little lav mics that we normally clip on for when we're doing riding. It turns out I'm in quite an echoey room right now. Despite this microphone fixes that, but it's like £1 million. Using this microphone, but very close to your face, really helps with that. And it's also easier to talk when you're holding something. It turns out the distance, even when you have a microphone clipped on, this is way closer. So this reduces the echo and just makes it a way better signal. So that's why I've started using a little blue microphone.
Nice. Well, yeah, for our audio listeners, he was holding the microphone close to his face and saying the audio is better. I feel like you were saying a lot of this and a lot of this, and it maybe didn't quite make sense. But
Good description.
Right, we've been away for a while. So I think it's time that we should round up all of the news that we've missed.
So, starting with SRAM, who are suing the UCI.
Finally, someone is.
Finally. Over the UCI's plan to trial gearing restrictions in races. We covered this a few episodes back, but briefly, the new rule would restrict gears to a maximum of 54.11 or 49.10. SRAM cassettes start at 10 sprockets now. So SRAM-sponsored riders would have to use a 49-tooth chain ring. Shimano and Campag both start 11-tooth, so their riders could use an arguably more desirable 54-tooth. SRAM says the new rules unfairly disadvantage them and their riders, and they say even the announcement of the trial has caused reputational damage, market confusion, and team and athlete anxiety. Now they've launched legal action with the Belgian Competition Authority. The UCI says it's puzzled by SRAM's response. I don't know why. And they say it's only a test and they'll consider any findings before changing rules and urge that it's being done to increase rider safety. The UCI also said it was confident that they haven't broken any European or Belgian laws.
Oh, beef.
I mean, the ban is supposed to be related to rider safety, even though the UCI has been told many times by everyone under the sun that bike races are unsafe because of stupid route choice, road furniture, giant inflatables falling in the road, spectators doing silly things and being allowed in the road at the wrong times. You know, sometimes it's appropriate and sometimes most often they're respectful, but sometimes they shouldn't be allowed anywhere near the road. Dogs running in, you know, it's not gearing choice. And I think UCI are frankly going to have a fit when they look at the average speeds. If speed is what they're worried about when professional teams actually start embracing aero to its full capabilities. So I think it's just misplaced energy and it is unfair on SRAM. Okay, we'll see what happens, I guess.
I do agree it is probably misplaced energy. However, the difference between using a 49 chainring and a 54 chainring, yes, it will be marginal, but who cares, man? Just ride a bloody bike.
Well, the riders do, because it's a
it
very
is.
psychological thing, isn't it? And if they have that in their head that, oh, I'm on a slightly less efficient drivetrain, then it will affect people.
But then you could apply it to absolutely anything and everything. Why isn't every single rider always wearing oversocks every single time without fail?
There's a rule about that. It has to be cold weather, doesn't it?
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it has to be bad. Yeah, no. In British cycling, definitely, and they usually just take all the UCI's rules. We weren't allowed to wear oversocks. This was years ago. They changed the rules. You weren't allowed to wear aero oversocks unless it was deemed bad enough weather to be doing so.
But they wear them all the time, don't they? No, they actually don't, do they?
Nah, they don't. They're allowed to wear aero socks, but they have to be a certain height.
Yeah. And I think what they can do is, like, Cav had his shoe cover thingy-majiggy, where it wasn't like a full cover, was it? It was like a little strap.
Or people chop pieces of arm warmers or skin suits, old ones, and then put them on their shoes. And more often than not, they'll do it like at the start line, and the UCI don't see, or the commissaires don't see what they're doing.
But anyway, my point is, just ride the bike you're given. Like, if you have to ride a 4910, just deal with it. It's not a big deal. Get on with it.
That is an odd take, I think.
If you had two identical bikes, one with a 5411 and one with a 4910, you are not going to notice any difference whatsoever. Yes, there is a psychological difference.
Yes,
there is this, like, yes, there will be like a 0.0001 watt difference or whatever it ends up actually being, but it's not actually a big deal.
Oh, those marginal gains add up, Jimmy.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. If the riders are upset about it, they're upset about it. So
Yeah. Well, I think SRAM's probably upset because it makes their product look inferior. And you go, oh, SRAM's not as good, is it? I mean, you don't actually do that, but that's what they're scared of, isn't it? That there's repercussions to their brand.
I can totally see why SRAM are upset about it for those reasons, but I don't think the riders really care that much in the grand scheme of things, because we know for a fact there are certain riders and certain teams which will choose to ride inferior products because they get better bonuses if they win on them. So, like,
sure,
I just don't think they care that much, and I think SRAM do care a lot about it. But, you know, it'd be interesting to see what happens. But as I said, I do massively agree. It does seem like misspent energy from the UCI's perspective, but perhaps it's an easy win for them, or it seems like an easy win.
They are the kings and queens of misspent energy, let's face it.
Next, Cube unveiled their 2026 bikes, and can we just take a moment to appreciate how fantastic the colour schemes are? They are properly good. And I just also want to caveat, this probably isn't the best section for audio listeners, but we will do our best to explain what they look like.
Listen, I'll drop a link if you want to have a look for yourself, or just take our word for it. They're really nice. And, you know, maybe that's the least important thing about it, but also maybe it's the most important thing.
It's definitely the most
it.
important thing.
Yeah, I agree.
There's not that much else that differentiates some of the mid to high end bikes. So a good paint job is probably, I mean, it's the one that you're going to look at and go, I'm going to take that for a ride today.
True.
If that sways you. Especially the gravel. The gravel, is it? So New Road, they do lower end New Roads as well, because I've ridden one.
Yep.
And it's alloy, but they do a carbon version. C62. This sounds like a cold no-go. 6,299 quid for a top spec gravel bike with the paint job is awesome. It's like a marbly blue thing.
Smoky marbliness.
And just like very subtle branding. I like a product where they just make a colour and then they just stop. Don't put any little weird decals on. Don't absolutely slap it with logos everywhere. Just do a paint scheme and then stop.
I have to say, I have had a good look at these three that we're looking at here. And the three to mention are, so the one Francis mentioned, which is the New Road C62.
There's a lower spec one which has like a similar paint job, but in a sort of pink and orange as well, which is nice.
There's the Lightning Air C68, which is a purpley blue paint blob
Splatter.
thingy. And then the New Road C62 that you just mentioned as well, which has a very, very cool colour. They do all feel a little bit like they've been using historic Specialized as the inspiration. Like if you look at those head tubes, it looks like the Athos head tube. And then some of those colorways do look like some of the stuff that Specialized have done in the past. But regardless of whether it's inspired, influenced, stolen, don't really care, they look great. I really, really like them. And they're good value,
props
aren't
to
they?
Cube for making... Yeah. I was about to say the value of... If you don't know Cube, it's not so much their entry level, because there are definitely other brands that are making bikes around that price point. Like at the moment, I think that Canyon just takes the crown, the new All Road. But the
Endurace All Road.
Endurace All Road.
Yep.
The mid to high end though from Cube, I mean, they're thousands of pounds less than some of the competition.
Well, I have some facts for you if you'd like. Exactly that. So we think this sort of mid to high end is where they get the best value. So if we look at aero bikes from 3 brands, which are all known for being good value bikes, the Cube, Lightning Aero, C68, all of these 3 bikes are set up with Ultegra Di2. So the Cube's version is £4,999. The Canyon Aeroed SLX8 is £1,000 more. And then the Van Rysel RCR F, which is the bike that everyone thinks is the best value bike in the world, is then £2,000 more than the Cube. So it's £5,000, £6,000 and £7,000 for those bikes respectively.
Although that bike is currently reduced on the Van Websel.
Van Websel. Oh, they should call it that. Go to the Van Websel and buy a bike of Van Rysel.
That's not an advert. It is more expensive. And listen, there will be other differences between. We're doing what Nick the mechanic hates, which is just judging something by the group set. But I also think that's what a lot of people do. So, if you just want a nice looking bike that has Ultegra Di2, then...
But I'll be honest, those 3 bikes, there isn't very much between them. They're going to have very similar speccing, very similar development, very similar objectives. I think you can really directly compare that Cube, that Canyon, and that Van Rysel.
Yeah. And I also think, price alone is not what everyone will judge their purchases on. Some people won't just go with the cheapest one just because it is cheapest. It's important to some people, not important to others. But I do think a lot of people will pick a bike that they like the look of. And I think that the paint scheme is a big part of that.
Well, it's why so many people ride aero bikes when they should be riding climbing bikes, because aero bikes look cool.
But please, this is why there should be racy aero-looking endurance bikes.
Yeah. One big negative for Cube, though, is Emily was looking through all of these bikes going like, oh, they're amazing. Maybe I should consider one of them. And I had a look at the geometry, and the smaller size they offer seems to be an extra small, which I'm pretty certain is a minimum my height.
Yeah, well, isn't it always the way? But a gal can dream.
One big thing we missed while we were gone was the Vuelta, which was absolute chaos. Pro-Palestine protesters descended on the race en masse, disrupting multiple stages. Much of the protesting was over the inclusion of Israel Premier Tech. There was also a desire to keep the horrific situation going on in Gaza in the public consciousness. There were huge crowds holding Palestinian flags and signs saying things like Free Palestine and Stop Genocide. Organisers even ended up scrapping the final stage and podium ceremony, so the riders did a DIY one. Did you see that?
I did, yes. They were stood on water coolers, I think, but I heard it being compared to like Friday Night Crit vibes.
It was quite a cool podium ceremony.
I'll be honest, it was the coolest podium ceremony I've ever seen. Like I much prefer that to the big fanfare they normally do. Just a car park with some headlights, a couple of beers, slice of pizza.
Anton Pidcock on a podium. His first Grand Tour. But this is getting too pro. We don't care about the pro side.
Did you see his wheel and tyre choice? In fact, let's save that for a future episode. Spoilers.
Oh, wait.
Don't worry. Doesn't matter.
Okay, fine.
Continue with the podcast.
Okay, fine. So we saw protests at the Giro and the Tour de France, but they were nothing compared to this. And that's maybe because Spain as a country is very vocally pro-Palestine. And now Barcelona has refused to host next year's Tour de France Grand Depart if Israel Premier Tech are there. The Canary Islands have also refused to host the end of next year's Vuelta for the same reason. So immediately following the protests, the team said that they would drop the word Israel from their kit and signage as a security measure to detract attention, but they insisted they weren't officially changing their name. However, on Monday, Cycling News reported that their bike sponsor, Factor, has essentially given them an ultimatum. Change the team name or we're out. Factor's CEO said, I've already told the team, without a name change, without a flag change, we won't continue. It's not a matter of right or wrong anymore. It's become too controversial around our brand, and my responsibility is to my employees and my shareholders. It's no longer a personal thing if I support this or I support that. There's just a certain level of controversy we just can't have surrounding the brand. This is a massive development because during the Tour de France, the team announced an indefinite partnership between the two sides. But the CEO now says that was just a verbal agreement and no contract has been signed beyond 2026.
I mean, it's been going on for a while. It's been going on for long, way before that. I mean, people are understandably angry and desperate because it's been going on for so long. And I think we're just going to keep seeing more of it if children keep being killed.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's definitely some division between riders and fans on the topic of protest generally. I know some people think that sports and politics don't belong together. Riders are just doing their jobs. But others think like inclusion of countries like Israel, Bahrain, UAE in team names is inherently political. You know, even if the team isn't state sponsored, it's still an endorsement and a promotion of them as brands on a global scale, and therefore protesting against their inclusion should also be justified. People have the right to protest.
It clearly shows that protesting works, especially once you get to a certain, once you get that momentum going, which it really feels like it's happening, This is showing it is making a difference.
Totally, and that a lot of people clearly do care about it. It's showing united feeling and pressure, isn't it? I don't love, and we talked about it during the Tour de France, I don't totally love when people jump out in front of random riders going 60 kilometres an hour. It feels dangerous. I don't know if it's the best way to get your point across. However, peaceful demonstrators being disruptive in a way that's like blocking roads in advance and blocking podiums. No one's getting physically injured, but it is a massive disruption. And then the day after day effect of that, meaning that the race has to be cancelled, it does have a big impact. And I don't know, I'm fine with that. Power to the people.
We also have some news from the world of ultracycling. The inaugural Everesting World Champs just took place. It's a challenge where the riders go up and down a climb repeatedly until they've ascended the height of Everest, 8,848 meters. Just doing that is a feat in itself, but these lot were trying to do it in the fastest time possible. It was held on Mount Etna in Sicily. What a cool location for the
cool.
first one. That's wicked. Three-time British national hill climb champ Illy Gardner won the women's race. She did it in 8 hours 28, almost 90 minutes ahead of her closest rival. A fact about Illy, she has over 10,000 QOMs on Strava.
Isn't that wild?
I honestly don't think I've ridden 10,000 segments on Strava.
I've ridden the same segments, lots and lots. It's very adventurous. Canadian Jack Burke claimed the men's title in 7 hours and 30 minutes. He holds the KOMs for Alpe d'Huez and Stelvio. He's been doing a bunch of stuff like this, right?
Yeah, I was reading a little bit about him. It sounds like he has been doing things to get noticed, maybe by a pro team. He's after a contract.
It rings a bell. Two of the top two were both called Jack. The other guy is Jack. I don't know what his surname is. Thompson? Jack Ultracyclist, who I met during the TCR. So he's been doing it a long time, but that's a wicked result for him as well. So well done, Jack.
Well, you've done a few Everests. What's your thoughts about racing one?
No, I've never done a normal Everest.
Well, you have, technically.
On a normal bike.
but like you have done the elevation. You've done it. You've done a double on a turbo. You've done a single on a BMX.
Yeah.
Now you're going to do another one on a normal road bicycle that's light, but you got to race it.
Wait, this is news to me. This sounds horrible. I'm definitely not in shape for this.
It's figurative. It's not actually happening. Just pretend it is happening, though.
Oh, okay.
What's your thoughts on that as a race?
Ooh, it's very course dependent. I think doing a fast time requires the right gradient. It has to be steep enough, but not too steep. And then the descent has to be straight, or at least fast, to be able to set a good time. Because there's like the Everesting. This is the world champs or whatever they're calling it. There is like an overall record, and part of setting a fast time during the world record attempts is course choice. And you have to be very specific about where you choose to do it.
So what I'm getting from that is if you were to race the Everest World Champs, you would only do it in a year that you thought the course suited you.
Correct.
Okay.
And none of it suits me because I'm
not interested in doing Everest
anymore. I've done enough now. It's horrible. No more. But I'll happily watch other people do it and cheer them on. Maybe Harry Mack should have a go. Although it's a very long ride for him. He just came second in a hill climb to Andrew Feather because the hill climb season has begun.
Oh.
We have a friend called Harry Mack who's the national hill climb champ, but his the opposite of Everesting. His specialism is 1 minute, 2 minute, maybe 3 minutes push. When are you doing your Everest, Emily?
What?
Yeah,
I'm not. I have no interest.
You still haven't got a bike that fits.
No. It's slowly getting there. We've been doing a lot more running actually lately. We formed a run club. I've just heard you say that you've invited some more people to our run club, Francis.
Yeah, sorry. It was while you were away. So now that more people have joined, and we're going to have a great time. So
Fine.
No stress.
Yeah, no. I have no goals. I have no cycling goals. I kind of like it that way. I'm going to just consistency, I guess, and just ride just below the point where it really starts to hurt, which is about an hour and a half. So whatever specialism you can get me in that kind of bracket is fine.
Coffee world champ.
Coffee world champ.
Well, coffee racer world champ.
What does that mean? Coffee racer?
You ride slowly to a coffee shop,
Yeah.
drink some coffee, have some cake, ride slowly home.
And what's the competitive element of it?
Yes.
That sounds like a bit of me, to be fair.
See, told you.
The next event we're going to talk about is basically what you just said, Jimmy, but it just never ends. It's just constantly going for coffees. Someone found tramadol on the floor at Badlands, which is an ultra cycling race. So it popped up on Instagram. A participant called Victor Bossoni posted online that he was shocked to find a sleeve of tramadol pills on one of the climbs. 3 of them were missing, probably inside someone.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Badlands is a self-supported 800-kilometre gravel race / challenge in Spain. I think it's one of those where they don't technically call it a race, but it is a race. I don't know.
And gravel is a stretch, but yeah.
And tramadol is an opiate. It's very strong and potentially addictive painkiller. The side effects can include sleepiness, clumsiness, blurred vision, and leave you unable to concentrate and make decisions, according to the NHS, which are all things that you probably don't want during a self-supported ultra, especially when you add on to that a lot of sleep deprivation in the first place. Victor said, yes, the substance is banned and yes, it's considered doping, but beyond that, it's what it represents that struck me. Pain is a language. It's how our bodies protect us. Silencing it means putting yourself in danger, not to mention the side effects, which make the use of such substance nonsensical in the context of ultra racing. He also said that he was really disappointed to see so many gel packets and food wrappers discarded along the route, and I saw a lot of other riders echo this sentiment as well. He said, I believe it's crucial to speak up now before these practices settle in and become normalised.
Do you know what this highlights to me is we as cyclists like to think that cars and drivers hate us, but they don't. And it's actually just the 1% of people from any walk of life, whether they're drivers, cyclists, ultra racers, that just make things less pleasant for the rest of us.
Well, like throwing rubbish everywhere.
Well, yeah, it's just unnecessary. Put your rubbish in your pocket. And that's whether you're doing an ultra marathon, an ultra bike race, going for a walk, whatever it is, just don't be a dick.
I have to say, I do think that the use of stuff like this in, I don't know whether the right word is like lower level racing or, you know, stuff that isn't as heavily policed maybe is probably rife and probably has been for a long time. Like I feel like when we had Ned Boulting on the show, he said it just, you know, we humans as a species are
looking for shortcuts.
Cheaters. There'll always be cheaters.
Firstly, I'm backtrack slightly. I said it was a stretch that this event was gravel. It was going the other way. I wasn't trying to say it was easy. I was trying to say it's more like mountain biking. I think some people take cross-country mountain bikes because it's the rocks and rubble is very big and aggressive, especially hard to navigate when you haven't slept. Tramadol was years ago when I was racing, it was legal and there were people abusing it in races. And then the ban came in when the UCI or British Cycling realized it was going on, and people were like, it's massively addictive. So my wife's a doctor. She avoids prescribing it to patients because of its side effects and I think mainly the risk of addiction. She'd rather give people ketamine, which was a shock to me. I'm like, you what? And apparently that's a much safer and preferred thing to prescribe for pain. Not that you should do that in a bike race either, really. But yeah, I know there are people that I used to race with who stopped racing and still took tramadol afterwards because they were addicted to it.
Really?
So, can be mega dangerous to some people, so I would stay away from it.
That's sad. On the topic of the littering, I saw a lady called Sandra said, for years, I had a plan to ride the Flamme Rouge at this event and collect everything I find riders have lost: bananas, shoes, bottles, and of course, all the packaging.
Imagine how big your bike would be. It would just be giant bags.
I think that's a great idea though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's awesome. There should be a prize for it.
Do you remember when Francis was doing his BMX Everest on the subject of Everests? I actually got some black bags and some like litter picky thingy-majiggies.
You did.
And I did a stretch of about 50 metres in the depths of the Pennines and ended up with about 8 bags of black bags.
Of just my gels. It was all my gels. It's crazy.
Is there an argument that actually the organisers should maybe be doing the Flamme Rouge pickup? I don't know.
Well, at the very least they should be, yes. But there shouldn't be anything to pick up.
People, in the briefing of all of these types of races, it highlights you leave no trace. If you brought it, you can carry it. And you can carry it when it's lighter and it has nothing inside it, but just keep it inside you. But, you know, you're right. Some people are just on the subject of cheating as well, I just wanted to mention that, again, we are, as a species, just cheaters, because there was scandal at the International Stone Skimming Championships in Scotland while we were away. Several contestants were DQ'd for cheating also. Do you want to know how they did it?
How they cheated? They lab grew stones to the perfect shape.
Like conkers.
I was thinking more like diamonds.
I don't know if they lab grew them, but they did bring in their own stones, which is against the rule. It has to be stones that they have found at the location, which I think was somewhere in Scotland. Was it Skye? Can't remember.
I think it was the ground.
Is that where Luke Skywalker lives?
Yeah, they brought their own stones.
Outrageous.
Very naughty indeed.
Everyone knows you have to just find them next to the river and have a gan.
Yeah, same with the tramadol. If you find it on the floor, it's fine.
You can't say that.
That's the thing with roadkill as well, isn't it? You're allowed to take it as long as you didn't kill it.
Take it where?
Home and eat it, or whatever.
Same rules in ultra. If you find it, it's yours.
I think that is just the rule of life, isn't it?
What, if you find something on the floor, it's yours?
Well, if you find something abandoned, you're entitled to do something with it. Unless it's a national park.
Today's episode of the Wild Ones podcast is supported by Garmin.
I've actually been using Garmin bike computers and watches for well over a decade now.
Yeah, me too.
I actually bought my first one in 2012. It was the Forerunner 410, and I was training for my very first triathlon at the time.
And how did that go, Jimmy?
Well, it would have gone great if I hadn't accidentally miscounted my bike laps and got myself DQ'd for doing one short.
Rookie error. You should have used the laps function.
I know. But my point is, Garmin's have been part of our lives for a long time now. So it was a bit of a full circle moment when they came on board to support the channel.
And they don't just make watches and head units with bike-specific GPS mapping and performance monitoring.
Nope. They also make power meters, heart rate monitors, smart bike lights that capture video and alert you when cars are approaching, tax indoor trainers, and so much more.
So thank you to Garmin for supporting this podcast. Right, moving on to a very special section in commemoration of our 100th episode. So I was thinking we've now had at least 100 hours of chatting and getting to know each other now. Plus all of those years that we actually already knew each other.
Yeah, but we did no talking in that other time.
No, we didn't. And maybe not about bikes in the same way as we do now. So it got me thinking, just how much do we know about each other when it comes to our cycling preferences? So we're going to find out with a little game I'm calling Knowing Me, Knowing You. Aha. So I've come up with 8 bike-based scenarios with multiple choice answers. For example, this is the first one. Your mate punctures on a group ride and has forgot to bring a spare tube. You only have one tube left. A £30 tubolito. Do you A, offer it up straight away? We all make mistakes. B, stay quiet and hope someone else has one. If they don't, you'll reluctantly hand it over, I suppose. Or C, say nothing. It's their fault for being underprepared and you might need it. So, before the show, we all filled out our own answers. We also wrote down what we thought everyone else would say. So a bit like that game Mr. and Mrs., we're going to see how many we got right, and the most answers will be crowned the ultimate friends. I have written, but I'm actually not going to keep count, so we'll just we'll guesstimate.
The best thing about this is we actually answered these questions before we went on holiday, and I cannot remember any of the questions or why I picked any of the answers. So this is going to be as much fun for me just relearning what we've already been through.
Okay, so the first one, we are going to answer that one. Jimmy, on the subject of
the tubolitos,
what do you think Francis would do? Would he offer it up straight away? Would he stay quiet and hope someone else has one? And if not, maybe reluctantly hand it over? Or would he say no?
I can only assume you've picked this question because we know the answer to this. Based on a video.
You know the answer to this if the person that had the puncture is Jimmy, because it was a real situation that happened.
So,
and what did Francis do?
He hid from me. He even had a tubolito in his saddlebag for approximately 2 hours.
I thought it was a mountain bike one, in my defense.
That's what they all say.
But it still would have worked. It would have got me home 2 hours sooner. So I punctured. We were in the middle of nowhere. And to be fair, we both wanted to know what would happen if you put grass in a tire to see if you can ride it. So we filled my wheel and tire with grass. It didn't work very well. And then Francis then rode to the closest shop, which was about 5 miles away, to get a tube. They didn't have one that would work on my bike, but he still bought one anyway, brought it back. And then when that didn't work, he then went, I suppose you can use my tubolito. And still was upset about it.
I was. You should do what Tony does. He borrows my tubolito. Every time we go mountain biking, he punches. And then he comes back to my house a few days later and he's removed the tubolito from his tire and wrapped it back up really small and gives it back to me. And then next week he borrows it again.
Yeah, I could have done the same thing for you, but, well, I guess, I feel like it punctured on the way home.
Yeah, I feel like it did as well. And luckily we had spares from the shop, so it was all good.
So Francis will hide the fact he even has a tubolito.
I said that he would stay quiet, hope someone else has one. If not, he'll reluctantly hand it over. And I said you would say the same. You would do the same. Francis, what would you actually do?
Oh, if it was Jimmy, what I did. If it was anyone else, I would help them and just give it to them straight away.
Okay.
Depends if we're filming a video or not and need some tension.
And what do you think that we would do?
I think you would both hand it over straight away.
Okay, I said I would stay quiet and hope someone else has one first.
I said you would do that. I said you would stay quiet.
If I was trying to virtue signal, I would have said that I'd offer up straight away. But if we're being honest, I'd stay quiet for a little bit.
Oh, very truthful, very truthful. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are you going to admit that you would do?
I would offer it up straight away because I am an angel.
All right, guys. So this is the problem with this. It's like, what would you actually do and what are you willing to admit that you would do is the problem here. Right, next one. The question is, the best type of cycling is A, road. It's fast, smooth and exciting. B, gravel/off-road. It's fun, you can make it technical and you get away from cars. C, commuting. You save money, you get fit, what's not to love? Or D, the type where you do a swim before and a run afterwards. So I'll give my answers. I thought Francis would pick road cycling.
Correct.
And I think that Jimmy will pick commuting.
Correct.
I like you think it's free training or free, what did you say? Free exercise.
It's free everything.
It's free everything.
Yeah.
Well, except for it depends if you run Tubalitos, then it's quite expensive.
It's just such a good bang for your buck. Usually it's lost time, whereas if you ride a bike on your commute, you're getting free exercise. You're probably saving money because otherwise you're walking. That's the only other way you would do it for free. It's the best possible form of riding.
Mm.
So I've put down that Emily would pick road because she loves a road bike. And I've put Francis down for gravel or off-road.
Oh, so you got us both wrong then. If the world was a perfect place, which unfortunately it's not, I would pick road. But in actual practical terms, the cars just annoy me. And although there are sacrifices with gravel, you get away from cars, and actually that was the winner for me.
It's sad that really, isn't it?
It is sad, isn't it? It is quite sad, actually.
Oh.
Right, number 3. You've just done a Mahusive ride and it's time to refuel. What are you eating? A, the biggest takeaway you can get your hands on, preferably pizza. B, a random concoction of beige cupboard and freezer foods. Or C, something filling, healthy and homemade. Plenty of fresh veg, carbs and some decent protein.
I put you both down as beige because I know you love a beige delight. Beige tapas.
I put Emily down for beige. I've obviously put myself down for the healthiest option because I'm all about health.
This week.
This week, yeah. I think the problem is food is like, you go through phases, don't you? Mm-hmm. 2 years ago, it would have just been chicken nuggets, pita, Nando sauce, bit of mayo, bosh, done. 4 of them, probably. 2 years before that, it would have been an extra large Pizza Hut with a stuffed crust and then a full size, like a family size cheesecake.
4 nuggets or 4 pittas with nuggets in?
4 pittas with probably 40 nuggets.
Okay, great. Yeah. Just checking. Thought you'd gone soft.
I've put Francis down for the Mahusive pizza because he loves a filthy pizza. Like
I do.
The nasty ones, the ones where you walk past them and you go, oh, they're definitely a food hygiene rating of 1. 1, if you're from the UK, you'll know that 1 means very bad. And that's his preference. He wants a pizza from that kind of place.
I want it to be not cheese. I found this out the other day. It's cheese analog. So they technically can't call it cheese. It's just, how good is that? Analog. That's what I want. That's what I want. It's like Soylent Green. It's everything you need from nutrition in one substance.
All right, what's our next one?
Next one is, my worst cycling habit is A, not taking enough food, spares, tools, water, etc. and just hoping for the best. B, doing my own mechanics to save time, but it usually results in professionals having to fix my mistakes. C, over or underdressing. Or D, not washing my kit straight after the ride. And if we're honest, sometimes letting it fester for days.
That clearly, Emily, is D.
Clearly?
Kit fester, yes.
I mean, you are right, but why
I've seen your
clearly?
spare room.
Oh.
I've seen your spare room. Emily has a special room in the house, which is not her bedroom, but it's for just clothesplosion.
Room of Doom, you called it.
The Room of Doom, yeah, I did see it. You're like, don't look in there, and then it's next to the room that I was staying in.
And the door was open.
I looked, it was scarring.
Do you know what, though, Francis, this week it's completely clean. And that's I'm just, yeah, maybe it's an all or nothing approach with me. This week it's spotless, but it has been...
Why are you crying?
Because she had to throw away. The only way to get it clean was just removing all the clothes.
Yeah.
Straight into landfill.
Yeah. No, I have to say though, and I did say this and I do mean it, that actually the clothes on the floor are clean. They've just not been put away.
They're also next to the ones that aren't clean.
No, they aren't. Well, they are, but I know the difference.
That seeps in.
Anyway, let's move on rather than revealing all my secrets. You were correct. That was right.
That's also where I put you in.
Fine.
But I've actually put myself in that category as well.
Did you?
Because although I don't have a floor explosion or whatever you want to call it, I do. Usually, what happens is I do my washing relative. So me and Emily have separate washing because of this. But normally, I'll my kit will go in the bottom of the wash basket, and then by the time I then fill the wash basket up and then put it in the washing machine, I get to the bottom and I'm like, oh, actually, this probably should have gone a little while. It's still a bit moist, and I'm like, this probably isn't a good thing. I've put Francis in. Doing your own mechanics to save time, but it usually results in having to get a professional to fix your mistake. And I want to caveat that with Francis is very good at looking after his own bikes if it's doesn't involve tightening up bolts.
Yeah,
and as soon as there's anything to do with a bolt, then the chances are something's going wrong.
It's a patience issue. It can technically do quite a few mechanical jobs.
Yeah, technically you're fantastic, but if it's your bike, the chances are something's getting snapped.
Yeah.
Was that true? Is that what you put for yourself?
100%. Anything threaded or has a torque setting. I mean, the torque wrench is there, but getting it out that's a job, isn't it?
I thought you would say that about yourself. I also thought, Jimmy, that you would say that about yourself as well. But I forgot about the kit. It could have been both, couldn't it?
No, I'm a class mechanic. What are you talking about?
Okay, next one. You pull up at your house having just smashed a 100-miler. You're feeling on top of the world. I like how I've written this. It's do you know what? I always part of me could have seen myself working at a women's magazine writing these sort of scenarios. And are you mostly A's? Oh, you're a go-getter who does this and that. Mostly B's. Do you read women's magazines? No? Okay, wrong.
Turns out we haven't, Emily. This is very difficult to imagine what you're talking about.
Wrong
What's
audience, I see. Okay, let's start again. Next. I'm really shoehorning it into this male-dominated cycling podcast, but I think that we're getting away with it. It's fine. So... You pull up at your house having just smashed a 100-miler. You're feeling on top of the world. But when you look down at your Garmin, you notice you've actually only done 99.7 miles. What do you do? A, pedal round the block to make up the distance. B, end the ride, but slightly regret it later when the ride uploads and that unsatisfying number is staring back at you. Or C, forget about it. It's only numbers.
I think I want to change my answers.
Go on then.
From what I actually wrote down a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
So I've got a person next to each of the three options.
Oh, do you?
So pedal around the block to make up the distance. I had Francis, but I want to change it to Emily.
Okay.
End the ride, but slightly regret it later when the ride uploads. I'm going to put Francis. So I think he won't make up the distance, but he'll get like 3 hours later and you'll go, oh, actually, I probably should have done that. Probably should have rounded that up. That would have been cool if it said 100. And for me, I'd go, I'm already disappointed. I've got to 99 miles. I'm definitely not doing any more.
I don't care about any of these answers. I'm going to use my answer from question 3 for question 5, which is eat the biggest takeaway I can get my hands on, preferably a dirty pizza with a low hygiene rating and cheese analog.
Which means forget about it. It's only numbers. I wrote that we would all say that.
Wait, say what? Forget about it.
Forget about it. Forget about it. But it actually depends. For me, it actually depends what stage of Emily you're talking about. Now, that would be me. In the past, I have been the middle one. I've ended the ride but regretted it later. And the reason I've done that is because you've said, forget about it. And I've gone, oh, fine. But I have. If I was on my own, I would have pedalled around the block.
It is bold for you to assume that I had enough battery charge in my Garmin for 100 miles.
You need that one with the solar power thing.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But that still needs charging every once in a while.
The battery's so good. It's like Di2. Then I really forget to charge it.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Next one is, congratulations. You've just won a competition to win one, underlined one of the following bikes. Which will you pick? And the reason I underline this is because no cheating. You can't say all of them, okay? So, Option A, a custom steel bike from English Cycles.
Very nice.
They're a brand we've talked about before. We know that we like them. B, a top-of-the-range chrome Trek Madone. Or is it Madone? Is it Madone?
Madone.
A standard Kreisiger RS. Or D, a sturdy... Oh, how do you say it again, Francis?
I don't know. Did we have a chat about this?
Fia.
Fia. Oh, it doesn't. It's silent D.
It's an I knew it was Irish, and therefore I wanted to double check it because it was one of those that's a bit, a sturdy Fia titanium road bike. And if you haven't heard of any of these, just do a little pause and a little Google maybe. But it's ultimately, that sturdy is £9,600. And it's very nice. Look, they're all kind of in the same price range, I think.
Probably, yeah.
That's what I was trying to go for.
Okay, so I actually think this is very easy to answer. Emily's getting a Trek Madone because she really likes the Treks, even though it doesn't fit her. Francis has talked about wanting a standard Kreisiger RS when we reviewed it, but I don't think he would pick it over the sturdy, and I think me and Francis would get a titanium sturdy.
You're spot on. We were looking at sturdies for an extended period of time for a video we were making that hasn't gone out yet, and we both have decided we want one.
They're so good.
But I do not have the money for this.
Damn. I knew that you would both like the sturdy, but I said that you'd like a custom steel bike from English Cycles just because there's something more special about it. I know, Jimmy, that
I've got a custom steel bike.
Oh, he's
I've got
got
two
one.
custom steel bikes.
All right.
Now I want a custom titanium one.
So I thought about this for a long while because I've actually never seen one of these sturdy Fias before, and I thought it was actually really, really good. I ticked that one, and then I scribbled it out, and I did go with the Trek Madone. I wanted to not say the Trek Madone because I knew Jimmy would know that I wanted the Trek Madone. And
So you're just trying to catch me out, were you?
Yeah, I was. I wrote down the head says sturdy, but the heart says Trek Madone.
But the easy thing for you, though, is you'd have the two bikes in front of you, you'd weigh them, and you'd go, I'm obviously going to pick the Trek. Because that Trek, if it was actually in your size, would probably be sub 7 kilos, or at least around 7 kilos, whereas that sturdy's going to be more like 9, even top spec.
I'd have one ride on it for half an hour and go, my back hurts a bit, doesn't it?
Nah, it'll be less than 9. I think you'd be surprised. I think
you'll be surprised. One of us will be surprised.
Well, there's only one solution. We'll have to buy.
We will
have to buy two,
get
Jimmy.
them.
Just doubly check. Yeah.
It is the only solution. Right, 2 more questions. What we got?
Okay, you come home from a long ride and immediately veg out on the sofa. What are you putting on TV? A, an action or thriller, e.g. something like John Wick. B, a classic comedy, e.g. School of Rock. C, a true crime documentary. Or D, something else. And right here, what it would be.
I've gone a bit off piste here.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
You've offered yourself up, so I think you go first.
So I put myself down for an action or thriller and a classic comedy.
Oh, you can't do both, Jim.
Well, the examples you gave, John Wick and School of Rock, like either of those, get my lovely salad post-ride and I can put John Wick on or School of Rock and have a lovely time. I'm instantly thinking of the analog cheese pizza that I now want, literally right now. And I haven't even done the big ride. For Emily, I've put Love is Blind plus Sims.
Oh, I do love that.
And for Francis, I've put anything in brackets Lord of the Rings plus Steam Deck, if that's what it's called.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a shout. But I've changed. So I've gone with D, something else. For you, because we finished a ride and we sat down on the sofa. And what did you want to watch? Deliverance. Which was not relaxing. A film that I've never seen before. But despite as unpleasant as it was watching it, it's all we talk about. There's constant things where, Deliverance. I don't know if we can even recommend people watch it because it's kind of scarring and horrible, but cult.
As long as you pay attention to the certificate rating of the film and you don't watch something that's... I'm assuming it's an 18. If you're under 18, then don't watch it. If you're over 18, fill your boots. Excellent film.
And number 8, last one. The most annoying thing about riding bikes is A, how long it takes to get ready for a ride. B, the tan lines. C, asshole drivers. Or D, receiving naff bike-themed presents from relatives for Christmas.
We've accidentally, basically, this is like the number one, the single one, number one position of the video which Benny made recently, which is 40 things we hate about cycling. So now we're actually going to select number one, the top of the list.
I thought Jimmy would say asshole drivers, and I thought Francis would say how long it takes to get ready.
I've put everybody, including me, as asshole drivers.
I've put me for asshole drivers, Emily for tan lines, because she's like, oh no, I can't wear this top because my tan line's horrible. And I'm like, don't worry about it. And I put Francis how long it takes to get ready, just because it's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, you were wrong. I put how long it takes to get ready. So I think we all got everything wrong there. Or did we? I don't know. I'm not keeping score. That's what I said. It was too difficult to work out how to do that.
The conclusion is we barely know each other.
No, I think we did know each other. Listen, we had
good.
fun along the way, though, didn't we? And that's actually what this whole thing was about. And filling time, which we have done perfectly, by the way. So well done, everyone. We are all the ultimate friends. Yay. Here's to 200 episodes.
And on the subject of friends, this leads on perfectly to Fluff Up of the Week.
When I first saw this, I thought this was some sort of YouTube stats, because you've sent a picture of a graph with a big spike in it. I was like, oh yes, one of my recent videos has done really well.
And what was it?
It's not my heart rate track. When me and Jimmy were at a petrol station moving some things in a van which we'd rented, and then Jimmy was half out the door doing something, and then the van started going forwards quite fast. And Jimmy ran himself over and then managed to quickly get his foot back on the clutch or the brake. And it was very scary. I thought we were going to be on TV.
The bit I enjoyed most of it is that it didn't really faze me that much, but Francis was absolutely, he's like...
Well, yeah, but he wasn't in control. He didn't know why the van...
Neither was I. That's the whole point.
You put your foot on the clutch accidentally.
So basically, it was a rental van. If you've rented a car before, you nearly always have to return it with the same amount of fuel it was at the start. So we popped into a petrol station. I slung in like 10 quid's worth of diesel. And then I was like, oh, I don't know if that's enough. I better put the ignition on to double check it. But because it's this like super modern van, which doesn't actually have a handbrake, it's like a digital handbrake, which wasn't working. I forgot that I'd left it in gear so it didn't roll. So I leaned in, put my foot on the clutch from outside of the car, of the van, like properly lunging through onto it, turned the ignition on, but because I was lunging so far, my foot wasn't fully down on the clutch, so I'd effectively just put it into first gear, and therefore it started flowing, flew forward, smashed the van into myself. I then pulled myself in, jumped on the brake, and fortunately didn't run over anyone or anything. The disaster averted.
All's well that ends well, except from Francis's heart rate.
Yeah.
That was good. It's like a free training, isn't it? New max heart rate.
I basically just jumped out, looked across to Francis, and he was just like, what the hell? I was like, oh, don't worry, it's just cars.
And then I got a text saying, Jimmy almost ran over himself. Remind us to tell you later. Okay, let us finish off with a very, very quick listeners' takeover. This is collective, the listeners taking over this section in response to our last episode, which was a couple of weeks ago, on the topic of things we hate. I think you asked people what their thoughts were on aftershocks/shocks, because some people were confused why we were calling them aftershocks. So that is because that is what the company used to be called before, 2021, which gives you some context. I said it at the time, it was a early version, and when on mine it says aftershocks, and now they're just called shocks. Anyway, a lot of people jumped to their defense, saying that they're good, that they do conduct in your bones. If you plug your fingers in your ears, you can still kind of feel the vibration, and that gives you an indication that it is bone conducting. Some people say they sound great even in water. Some people say they sound better for podcasts than and talking rather than music. Another said that even though the sound is slightly compromised compared to in-ear ones, it's still worth it for the safety aspects. So a lot of people have them. A lot of people like them.
This almost feels like in a newspaper when they are legally told they have to do an apology for saying something that was inaccurate. And I refuse to apologise for my comments, but I'm glad that people do work for some people.
It's definitely not that. And if we did take that approach, I think we wouldn't have an episode. We'd just have a full hour of apologies. So I'm definitely not going down that avenue. But since you posed the question, I wanted to give you some response. But I'm not sorry either, because I give the caveat of it was an early thing.
I'm glad to know that they do work for some people.
Yeah.
Well done.
Anything else to say?
No.
I got nothing.
Got nothing left.
Got nothing left.
In the words of Ian Beale. Anyway, we are digressing. On to the matter at hand, closing the show.
Well, what have we got coming up over the next couple of weeks? Do we have anything? We don't even know what we've got coming up, do we? There's nothing early insights we can give, is there? I guess something which we know is that's definitely coming out soon. We hope that we made a couple of weeks ago, and we invited a load of people to our studio, and we rode on a bike as hard as we possibly could. So we are going to be dropping something soon where you all will learn how long we can ride a bike for.
Not very long.
Not very long is the answer.
I feel like that video is going to be full of comments going, oh, they're so shit at bikes. I think the point of it shows that normalising being normal.
You could call it Mr. Demotivator.
Oh, yes. Wrap us up, Jimmy, please.
That is all for this week. Thank you very much for listening. Subscribe so you don't miss out on the next episode. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Peace.
Goodbye.